Hey guys, Adam with Film Pulse here, and with Halloween just around the corner, I thought it might be fun to talk about some horror movies that came out this year that I recommend for you to check out. So without further ado, here are 10 horror movies to watch this Halloween that you can stream right now. That being said, there are a number of great horror films that came out recently, like Goodnight Mommy for instance, and ones that haven't come out just yet, like pretty much everything that's screened at Fantastic Fest this year, but they aren't available for streaming just yet, so I haven't included them on this list. First up, we have the Australian zombie flick Wormwood. If you wondered what Mad Max would be like if it were filled with rabid zombies, then this action horror film, with a solid number of comedic elements, is definitely worth a look. Next, one of the more popular horror movies that came out in 2015, and one that will most definitely land near the top of my year-end horror list, is It Follows. Odds are you've probably already seen this supernatural tale about a girl being hunted by a mysterious shape-shifting entity after getting it passed to her from having sex with someone else who had it. But this one just gets better every time you rewatch it, so if you only see one movie on this list, make it It Follows.
All you can do is pass it along to someone else.
On a lighter note, my next recommendation is the hilarious mockumentary What We Do in the Shadows. The film revolves around a group of vampires living together in a flat in New Zealand who agreed to allow a camera crew into their home and film their lives. I would say this leans more on the comedy side than horror, but it's great fun and certainly the best horror comedy to come out this year, and there's a lot of horror comedies that came out this year.
Look, a ghost cop!
Another film that might not necessarily be considered a horror film, and there are a few more that are like this on this list coming up, is Turbo Kid. This is another throwback to 80s wasteland films like Mad Max, but it mixes gobs of gore with a solid amount of comedy and a surprising amount of heart as well, which was something I definitely didn't expect with this film. I adored this movie and desperately hope that a sequel gets made because I want more of these characters and more of this world that RKSS has created. Sticking with horror comedies, we have The Final Girls. This inventive film revolves around a group of friends who get sucked into an 80s slasher film and need to figure out a way to make it back into the real world before they're all killed by a Jason Voorhees-like killer who happens to be hunting them. This is the only movie on this list with a PG-13 rating, so the blood and nudity are kept at a minimum, but it doesn't really detract from the overall enjoyment I had with this one. How they handle the movie mechanics is really clever, and the comedic elements are on point, making this a very fun Halloween watch.
I wonder if all this blood is just corn syrup, you know, like these characters are walking around with just corn syrup in their veins, you know?
Let's give it a shot here.
Oh God. Oh, no, that is not corn syrup. That is, oh God, that's blood.
Another fun watch that is very not PG-13 is Deathgasm. This is another horror comedy. It hails from New Zealand and involves a group of metalheads who accidentally invoke an ancient demon through their music and must work together to stop it from taking over everyone in their town. There's some strong Evil Dead 2 vibes in this one, as well as maybe some of Peter Jackson's Dead Alive. So if you're into horror movies with lots of goofy slapstick and loads of gore, I mean ridiculous amounts of gore, then Deathgasm is your ticket.
What's up?
That was pretty cool, as is, I mean, the accent.
Heading in a more serious direction is the Belgian horror film Cub. This is also known as Whelp. This one involves a group of scouts heading off into the woods for a camping trip only to be terrorized by a sadistic killer. There's some really disturbing stuff in this one, so be forewarned, it's not light or fun at all. For me, this one didn't quite stick the landing, but it's got some genuinely shocking moments, and it is a solid horror film nonetheless. So check it out, that's Cub. Keeping with the forest theme, next on the list is Backcountry. This is a film about a couple heading off to the woods for a romantic getaway, only to be terrorized not by a sadistic killer, but by a sadistic bear. The premise is fairly simple, but fans of survival stories will find this one suspenseful and extremely well made, especially the special effects in this one. They were quite good, so I definitely recommend Backcountry. Next, there's The Boy, a disturbing tale about a child whose psychopathic tendencies are beginning to surface as he stalks around the dilapidated motel that his father runs. If you like movies about creepy children who are into killing things, then this one is worth a look. It also features Rainn Wilson from The Office in a dramatic role, so there's that, and he's actually pretty good in it. Finally, last but certainly not least, there's Spring. This is another one that some may not consider a horror movie, but there are definitely some horror elements in there, so I'm including it on the list. It's more of a genre mashup. It's got a little bit of everything. There's some sci-fi, there's some romance, there's some comedy, there's some horror. It's kind of a melting pot of all genre film, and that's one of the reasons that I liked it so much. It's about a young man who, after suffering the loss of a loved one, heads off to Italy, where he falls in love with a woman who is harboring a secret, and I'll leave it at that. I loved Resolution, the last film that these guys directed, and I love this one as well, so be sure to check it out. Spring. And that will do it, guys. There are 10 movies from this year that you can stream right now and enjoy this Halloween. Let me know in the comments if there are any titles from this year that you thought I should have included on this list, and be sure to like and subscribe. I appreciate that so very much. Thank you for watching. If you like what we do, consider subscribing to our Patreon page at patreon.com/filmpulse. My name is Adam Patterson. Have a wonderful Halloween, and we'll see you next time.
We're just about to walk past a werewolf, so some shit might go down.